In other news, the spokesman for the leader of a Davao-based religious group, the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, says Pastor Apollo Quiboloy was not detained in Hawaii. Authorities supposedly uncovered $350,000 or roughly 18 million pesos cash and other gun parts from Quiboloy's private plane bound for Manila, as reported by Hawaii-based news service Hawaii News Now. In an interview with CNN Philippines, Quiboloy's spokesman Israelito Torion said the religious leader was already back home last night and that he never committed any crime.
He is okay. He's just surprised as to why this issue was blown out of proportion, because the fact is there was only a clarification that was done, and after he was able to clarify everything, he was allowed to leave. There was no deportation proceeding, no charge filed against him.
Torion confirmed Felina Salinas was a member of Quiboloy's group, but he clarified there was no confirmation on reports Salinas claiming ownership of the money. He also did not confirm whether Quiboloy used his private plane or took a commercial flight going to the United States. Quiboloy was among President Rodrigo Duterte's supporters during the 2016 elections. The religious leader also lent his plane and chopper to Mr. Duterte during the campaign. It was a painful reunion between Joanna Demafelis and her family after her remains arrived in a box at the NAIA this morning. Joanna's remains, found in a freezer in Kuwait, will be brought to her hometown province where she will be buried. AC Nichols has the full story.
A homecoming filled with grief and despair. The siblings of slain domestic worker Joanna Demafelis wept as they welcomed her home. Her remains arrived at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport before 11 a.m. Friday. It was an emotional scene. Jessica, Joanna's older sister, held onto the box where her sister's body was kept and refused to let go. She couldn't bring herself to speak as she sat down wailing. Joanna's older brother, Jojet, said the family is having a hard time accepting what happened. One of their siblings fainted and was rushed to the hospital when they found out that Joanna had been maltreated and suffered beating from her former employer.
Yun po, sana mahanap na nila po yung pumatay sa kapatid ko po.
Malaking kawalan sa inyo si Jessica.
Malaking kawalan. Malaking kawalan po siya sa amin po dahil yung mga pangarap niya po, yun yung sinasabi niya sa mother ko na kaya po siya umalis po dahil gusto niya matulungan yung mga magulang namin po at saka yung bunso namin kapatid.
The family thanked government officials who have been helping them in this difficult time, but appealed to them to make sure Joanna's killer will be brought to justice. On Saturday, the siblings will fly to Sara, Iloilo, where their parents live. There in their hometown, Joanna will be laid to rest. AC Nichols, CNN Philippines.
The Demafelis family is preparing for a 2-week wake at their home in Iloilo. Joanna's mother, Eva, recalls her daughter's kindness and hopes the government will help them find justice.
Ang masasabi ko lang po sa aking anak, napakabait po niyang bata at saka mapagmahal sa mga ate niya at kuya niya. Mabait na mabait po ang aking anak. Ang inaasahan ko lang po sa ating gobyerno na matulungan niya yung aking anak na matagaan hustisya. Kagi matulungan kami ni President Rodrigo Duterte.
Joanna's remains will arrive in Iloilo tomorrow. Filipino-Chinese communities across the country are celebrating the first day of the year of the Earth Dog. Revelries kicked off last night with thousands of people taking part in celebrations in Binondo, Manila. Binondo is the world's oldest Chinatown, established in the 16th century. According to tradition, Chinese Ambassador Zhao Jinhua says the Year of the Dog represents loyalty, sincerity, intelligence, and determination. He hopes the occasion will deepen the relationship between the two countries.
And with loyalty, determination, intelligence, and sincerity, relations between China and the Philippines will get better and better. Ever since President Duterte took office, our bilateral relationships have entered into a new golden era. An era where our friendship will be deepened, our cooperation will be expanded, our people will be getting together and working together to benefit from the cooperation between our two nations.
Apart from buying round-shaped sweets, fruits, and Lucky Charms, revelers have deeper reasons in celebrating the Chinese New Year. Rex Remitio tells us more.
Banging drums, lion dances, and smiling dog balloons. These are among sights and sounds in Manila's Chinatown in the first day of the Lunar New Year. People here have different plans for going to Binondo, but they have a common wish, a good year ahead. 52-year-old Marietta Ong bought a bamboo shoot and a bracelet to bring good wealth and health. More than their fancy looks, Ong is hoping these will help her get rid of a debilitating asthma.
Kasi sa bahay, kailangan daw may yung buhay para malakas yung energy. Kontrausog daw eh. Kontrausog. Ang Corrales daw tawag dito.
For couple Ramon Valdez, 22, and Ronica Gatmaitan, 20, the Chinese New Year date also serves as a Valentine date. They bought hopia, a cake-like pastry of different colors and flavors for their families. Valdez and Gatmaitan are a couple for 7 years now, and they're hoping their love for each other would last for long.
Sana mag-succeed siya sa karir niya, gano'n. As yun lang, sana makasama ko pa ng matagal.
Ikaw naman, ikaw.
Ganun din, sana good health lang palagi, tapos maging mahaba yung pagsasama ko na.
For Jeric Chua, an owner of Chinese deli chain Eng Bitin, their products have proven to bring them luck. From their humble beginnings in the 1980s, they recently opened their biggest store.
Pag sinabi mong hopya, dalawang flavor lang yan, hopya, munggo, tsaka baboy. Then nagsimula kami ng ube, then now we have more than 30 flavors na ng hopya.
Manila Mayor Era Estrada joined the festivities by throwing out candies to revelers from a float during a unity parade. The 80-year-old former president and movie star is also wishing for good health. But how about his political career?
Oh, no politics muna. Just sorry for it.
While everyone acknowledges the lucky items, there's no exchange for hard work to reach their goals, plans, and dreams. Gongsi Fachay, Sinyan, Kuala.
A rocky relationship. That's how the Foreign Affairs Department describes the country's ties with Kuwait following the abuse Joanna Demafelis suffered at the hands of her employer that eventually led to her death. While Kuwait promises to resolve the case, the Philippine government wants a firm commitment to improve the condition of OFWs in the Gulf state. Our George Cahiles has that story.
Together with the grieving family of Joanna Demafelis, Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano received the body of the slain OFW from Kuwait. Cayetano says he spoke with the Kuwaiti ambassador on Thursday to discuss the case of Joanna and the welfare of Filipinos in Kuwait.
I spoke to the Kuwaiti ambassador yesterday and they said outraged ang gobyerno nila. Gagawin nila lahat to bring the accused to justice. But yung kanyang death, it's very tragic, but will also be a rallying point for all of the government agencies to be more aggressive abroad in helping our OFWs be protected.
Cayetano refuses to give updates on the case, particularly on the whereabouts of Joanna's former Lebanese and Syrian employers. But he says Kuwait vowed to do its best to resolve the case.
Totoo din naman siya sabi ng Kuwait na it's not a majority. It's somewhere between 3 to 5% ang may problema sa Kuwait. But remember, people are not statistics eh. Each and every life matters. So we're going through a rocky period sa ating relationship. But I think there's going to be some firm commitments and some resolutions.
On the Philippine government's part, an investigation is underway on the alleged failure of welfare officers in Kuwait to act on the complaint of Joanna's family. And Cayetano warns, heads will roll. The government will extend all the help to Joanna's family, including cash assistance and even scholarship.
We commiserate with the family, no? At hindi natin mapapalitan ng buhay ni Joanna. But what we usually tell the grieving families is that when an OFW passes away, he or she leaves something behind.
Cayetano says they're working on a memorandum of understanding with the Kuwaiti government to protect the right of OFWs. So far, Kuwait shows positive response to the proposed agreement, which he says must be a firm commitment and not remain as an empty promise.
Let's go above and beyond the headlines. We now speak with the Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III. Secretary, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Pinky.
Sir, magandang gabi po sa inyo. Sir, you've been talking about this memorandum of understanding that Kuwait still hasn't signed. What's the update on that, Secretary?
The latest, Pinky, was 2 days ago when I had a meeting with Ambassador Al-White of Kuwait. We agreed that they will create their technical working group and our own technical working group. And although we suggested that they should come here for the final drafting of the MOU, the ambassador insisted that our PWD group will instead go to Kuwait. Sa akin naman, Pinky, kahit saan magpunta sa Kuwait o dito, bastang Malaga, ipa-finalize na yung memorandum of understanding.
So no
para
problem.
Malagda na.
Okay, so
Opo.
walang problema, Secretary, magpadala ng technical working group sa Kuwait. Kailan ho sila pupunta sa Kuwait?
Before the end of the month, Pinky,
Okay.
pupunta si Undersecretary Claro Aureliano, and he will be assisted by a representative from POEA and also one from OWA.
Secretary, in the event that the Memorandum of Understanding or MOU is signed ng magkabilang bansa po, what can the OFWs expect from that? Ano ho ba yung siguro guarantee na hindi ho sila maaabuso ng kanilang mga employers, sir?
Dito magkakaroon ng dagdag provision that will ensure the protection and better treatment of our OFWs. An example, Pinky, would be a provision that our OFW's passport must be either retained by them or with our labor attaché. Hindi yung gagaya nangyayari ngayon. Yung mga employer doon, hinahawakan nila yung passport ng ating mga OFW, kaya hawak na hawak nila sa leg ang ating OFW.
So that's one provision, ano, Secretary,
Yes.
na posibleng hindi na doon sa employer dahil nga parang ginagamit itong blackmail, no? Sa mga...
Tama po yan.
Opo. But in the event, again, that the MOU is signed, mangyayari ho ba, ililift na itong deployment ban?
Titignan natin mabuti, Pinky, kasi we may have the MOU if there is no clear indication about the sincerity of the Kuwait government to implement the Memorandum of Agreement. Baka yung decision ng ating Pangulo na i-total ban ng deployment doon will continue.
So,
Pero the moment magpakita sila ng good faith and sincerity in implementing the provisions of the Memorandum of Understanding, probably we could consider the lifting of the ban.
In this Memorandum of Understanding, Secretary, ano ho kaya yung pinaka-challenging na provision dito sa MOU?
Ayun, number 1 yun, yung hawak ng passport. Pangalawa, yung working hours. Hindi yung kasi minsan nagtatrabaho yung ating mga kababayan, especially yung mga household service workers, beyond 10 to 12 hours.
All right. And Secretary, Kuwait was saying that also one possible solution would be to increase foreign entities working in Kuwait. Yung bang magpadala pa po siguro tayo ng mga officials in either the Polo or the embassy, sir. Is that something you're looking at?
Yes, that's also a possibility, Pinky. As a matter of fact, I have been slowly increasing our people in all our polos, especially in the Middle East. In fact, even before these things happen, we already created our team, the Rapid Reaction Team. This is headed by Undersecretary Labunsad.
And also, for the first time, we will be exposed in this undertaking, Deputy Administrator Arnel Ignacio, who is very eager to assist our OFW. They will go to all the Middle East countries and assess the situation of our OFWs and at the same time provide assistance to them.
That's right, Secretary. Ang alis ata nila ay February 20, si Deputy Administrator Arnel Ignacio. So, isa na lang pong katanungan. Ang sabi mo kasi ng PhilAC is that yung Philippine Association of Agencies to Kuwait, medyo nagkakaroon po ng agam-agam dahil kung magpatuloy daw, if the deployment ban to Kuwait continues, lalo daw bababa yung remittances ng yung OFWs nga from Kuwait. The question really, sir, is how will this impact the economy? Is this something of a concern?
Well, actually, kagaya sinabi kanina, I heard Secretary Cayetano, yung kikitain are statistics and this cannot be a basis to consider the plight of our OFWs. O isang buhay ng ating kababayan is equivalent to probably to all the economy of our country. Oh, we cannot afford to gamble with the lives of our OFWs.
Okay. Sir, maraming salamat po sa inyo. Thank you, Labor
Salamat,
Secretary.
Vicky.
Maraming salamat po sa inyo, Silvestre Bello III.